Hi, I'm Jada Mowatt.
And I'm Kemper Lewis.
Today we are going to be asking each other some questions.
And swapping some snacks. We each have a set of questions to ask each other, and when we pull out this magic card that says snack time, we're going to be exchanging our favorite snacks. So you ready?
Yes, let's do it. What first inspired you to pursue mechanical engineering?
What first inspired me? So I wouldn't call it more inspiration. I'd probably call it desperation, because it was probably one of my high school advisors who just said, you're pretty good at physics and math. You should probably be an engineer. And in my mind, I'm glad I didn't say this, but in my mind I said that sounds something to do with trains. That's how naive I was. And I was thinking, I don't really want to work on a train or drive a train or be near trains. So I wasn't all that into it because there was no internet to look up what's an engineer do. So I just kind of rolled with it, went off to college and said, I'm here to be an engineer, and still didn't know what it was. And they said, what kind? And I'm like, oh, great. You know, there are kinds of engineers. So I said, what's the most general one? They said mechanical. I said, let me start with that. But I'm glad I made the decision. I don't have regrets. It's been a great ride in mechanical engineering.
Nice.
All right, my turn.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
Who or what inspired you to pursue chemical engineering?
Great question. I think it was a lot of different factors. I think I grew up loving math and science. My dad is like his own mathematician, so even like at 3 years old, I was reading his math textbooks and, you know, going through practice problems for fun. Actually, fun fact, I used to love doing my summer homework as a kid. I would finish it within like a week. Yes, I was a parent's best dream. So yeah, I think I just always loved doing math and science just for fun. And fast forward, I studied really hard for the specialized high school exam in New York City, and I got into Brooklyn Technical High School, and we were actually able to pick majors there. So even at 16 years old, I picked chemical engineering because I really liked chemistry. And I just loved it. I loved how diverse the field was, how chemical engineers can do anything from going into the energy sector, going to wastewater, food, makeup industries. So it really was, I really liked how diverse the field was. And here I am today.
It sounds like we had a little bit different high school experience. You knew chemical engineering at 16. I didn't even know engineering existed when I was 18, so a little bit different. All right, one question down.
Throughout the duration of your entire career, what is the most unique problem you ever set out to solve?
Oh, wow. So I'd have to characterize that as, really I've always been fascinated and driven to study design, which itself is an ill-defined science, right? There's a lot of things that are undefined in design. So what I've been driven to do is to study how we take well-defined sciences like mathematics and apply them to an ill-defined field like design. And that's a challenging problem just because of the levels of uncertainty, the levels of stochastic sources of information and models. So I think I'm still driven by that. You know, because once you get into design, you start talking about how humans behave, behavioral sciences, which is largely hard to predict. Rationality, you know, how do we model rationality? So we came up with an idea called bounded rationality, which kind of takes an exact science and converts it to an inexact realm. And so I think I'm still motivated to how do we apply exact math and exact principles to an inexact world.
And then that translates to a D now.
It translates to a D. We are living in an inexact, uncertain world, and we're trying to figure out how to take the next step forward. You got it. Yeah. Exactly right. All right, here we go. Oh, look at this. Snack time.
Jazz hands.
All right, Jada, so my snack is called a sand tart, but now I realize years later that these are in other parts of the country called Mexican wedding cakes. But I always knew them as sand tarts. My grandmother in Texas would make these, and when we went to her house, we really enjoyed it. So I invite you to try a sand tart. Pretty powdery, all right?
Good.
All right, all right.
Sweet.
All right, very good. All right, I'm going to have a little sand tart for old time's sake. A little messy. All right, ready for question 2?
Yes.
All right, here we go. In all of your years at UB, what has been the most challenging class you have taken, and what did you take away from it?
Yeah, I think the most challenging class for me was Calc 2. I also think it's my lowest on my transcript, so I apologize. Correlation, yes. Yeah, I think it really showed me that I had to master subjects instead of just memorizing them. I feel like with Calc 1, I was able to kind of glide on by because I had done it in high school already with AP classes. Yep. So that was really easy for me. So I didn't really understand the rigor of like the UB curriculum and really what it required. Yeah. So I think it really was a turning point for me to do better in Calc 3 and differential equations in the future. So I'm
glad it inspired you and didn't discourage you.
Yes.
All right, because that could have been a turning point in the wrong direction for you.
Exactly.
All right, here we go.
Snack time for me.
Snack time.
So I brought Sour Patch Kids.
Sour Patch Kids, all right.
I'm actually not a big candy person, but Sour Patch, they have my heart. Like I've loved them ever since I was a kid. And if you're ever having a sour day, I think they patch you right up.
There you go.
I had to get one dad joke in.
Very
so
nice.
Take one if you'd like.
A soul snack for you.
Yes. Right. Cheers. Do you have a favorite color, Sour Patch?
Woo. Probably not. Maybe green.
Green? I'm a red, yellow girl.
Orange is pretty good, though.
Good, yeah.
Wow. All right. That's going to take a while to chew.
If you did not go into engineering in any capacity, what do you think you would be doing instead?
So, my uncle, when I was growing up, he was an attorney, and I think his dream was for me to be an attorney. And so he was always steering me towards the legal field and law school, and I just didn't feel it. And so, but if I didn't go into engineering, I may have gone that direction. So, could be an attorney litigating somewhere, or be a patent attorney. But that's kind of engineering too. Yeah. But I think an attorney.
Wow. Oh my gosh. I feel like you'd be a scary attorney.
A scary attorney. I hope not.
But in a good way. In a good way. I would hire you.
I hope I'd help people. All right. Here we go. Last question. You ready?
Yes.
What are you working on right now that you are most excited about? I like that.
Yeah. So my research basically focuses on lithium recovery and basically any critical mineral recovery as defined by the U.S. Department of Energy. And they're really important for the transition to clean energy. So basically, the ways that we're mining lithium right now are very harmful for the environment. So I'm working on nanofiltration membranes, basically a more sustainable and safer way to really recover that lithium and reject out other types of salts that might be in salt lake brine. So
super important.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
Yeah, big impact there.
Yeah.
And what do you want to do with that? What's next for you?
Ooh, after interning at Oak Ridge, I really am excited about national labs. So I would love to do a postdoc at a national lab. But I'm also open to going into industry, just anything that can help the environment, whether it's, going into the energy sector or wastewater treatment, just anything that can overall help with the planet.
Awesome. You heard it. Jada's accepting offers. All right. So that's all of our questions, Jada. Thank you for talking with me and sharing your favorite snack today. I loved the Sour Patch Kids.
Thank you. Of course, I enjoy trying sand tarts.
And thank you for joining us for an SEAS snack swap today. Have a great week.
Bye.
Bye.